Welcome to the second verse of Rumi's poetry in Masnavi. And if you stay with me to the end of the video, I'm going to surprise you. Hello again, my name is Arspas, and I'm going to continue with the rest of the first 18 verses that I covered the first verse in my previous videos. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, I highly recommend you to click the link above, which is the playlist about Rumi's stories. Okay, previously I told you that Rumi is complaining and Rumi is moaning about the separation. So what is the reed bed? Reed bed, is the place where other reeds were originally in that place. We usually see the reeds near the rivers, but they cut the reeds and they make some musical instruments. And then when you push your breath into the reed, you can see the sound is very, very sad. So the reed bed is the place that we belong to the other reeds, okay? And as I told you before, although reed is a musical instrument itself, but it is nothing. There is nothing inside the reed. It's empty. It's totally empty. And maybe you say, all right, it's a kind of paradox. You say that there was somewhere and there was nothing in that place. And Rumi said, okay, I belong to nothing. So what is the reed? The reed itself, inside the reed is nothing. It's empty. But we have a kind of metaphor just right here. There's a link between nothingness and infinity. Both of them are uncountable things. Zero and infinity in mathematics, both of them are related to infinity. And what does Rumi mean by saying separation? He said, okay, I am separated from the reed bed, and now I'm something else in another place. And he complains about it, he moans about it. And what about the other people? Other people are also reeds, and they're also complaining, but they're not aware that they're separated from somewhere else. They're taken apart from somewhere else. But when Rumi complains about it, they understand that, oh, we belong to somewhere else, and now we are something else in somewhere else. And they try to complain too, and they moan with the moan of Rumi. So, this is the translation of the second verse, and then I will give you my interpretation in detail. Rumi says that since they separated me from the riverbed, men and women cried with my moan. So, the riverbed, where other reeds were actually were all together in that place, they separated Rumi, and now Rumi is a reed as a kind of musical instrument, okay? And that reed is moaning in a musical way, not in a kind of language, and I'm talking to you right now in English language. It is music, and music is an international language. Everybody can understand it, regardless of what language you have. You can understand the music. You can understand its sadness. And when other people understand the sadness of this music, which is the moaning of the reed from the separation, all of a sudden they understand about their own separation as well, and they start crying and moaning with Rumi. Rumi is separated from where? I think Rumi is separated from the eternity. Yes, Rumi thinks that he was separated from the eternity, and that is why Rumi says that when I die, I start living in eternity again. Ultimately, we're all dead men. And that is why Rumi is complaining that why did you separate me from the eternity and you just dropped me into this world? And he's mourning about it and he's complaining about it. This is really beautiful because Rumi uses a word in Persian language, in Farsi, and it is because of the great uh, power of Persian language. And that is why in Persia we have lots of poets, and Rumi is one of them. We have other poets like Hafez and Sadi and other people. Maybe in this channel, later, I actually work in their poetry as well, but not now, because right now I'm going to focus on Rumi, because the world knows Rumi much more than the other poets in Persian. But if you understand the beauty of Persian language, you say, oh, it's very beautiful. And maybe you say, all right, I want to learn Persian language as well. So the translation again, since I was separated from the reed bed, men and women cried with my moan. This was the translation. And my interpretation, as I told you, since they took me apart from the eternity, I belong to the eternity, and since they took me apart from eternity, and now I'm in this world and I feel alone, and from this loneliness I'm moaning. Other people are also alone, but they are not aware of that loneliness. And when they understand it, they complain too. When they understand it that they are alone, they moan too. But in this world, since they have lots of different boundaries, their mind cannot focus on the loneliness. Okay, when they wake up in the morning, they go to the work, and they have their wife and children and different things, different belongings that make people not to think about that loneliness. But if someone like Rumi complains about loneliness, and they understand that they're alone too, other people are also alone. And definitely Rumi believed in eternity. I mean, by eternity, I mean the afterlife. And as other people, other philosophers, like the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman Empire as well, said once that what we do in life echoes in eternity. Rumi has the same thing, but he says it in another way. He said that what we do just right now, it echoes to us just right now, okay? And in eternity, we have the rest of this reflection after we die. And we feel it more after we die. So, that is why Rumi is complaining about this word and all the bad thing about this word. But Rumi uses a really nice word for the reed bed. As I told you, reed bed is a place where other reeds were grown in that place, okay? And Rumi was one of them with the other people. So it was a place. In Persian language, we have a suffix for place, and that is stan, okay? And in Persian language, for different states, we use the word stan, okay? We say Ostan, okay, but it has been changed. When I'm talking about the roots and etymology of a language, I'm talking about 6,000 years ago. But anyway, it is very interesting. But it is very important that we have the same root in all the languages that we have inside the Indo-European family of languages. We have the same word in English as well, okay? Because I don't know about German language or other languages that much, but I can give you an example in English and you understand it. In English, we say state. State is a land. For example, when we say the United States of America, it means that there are different lands that they are united and then they made a country. In Persian, for the provinces, they use the word ostan, state. Okay, and we have other words in English as well. We say stay, stand. You stand. Where do you stand? You stand in a place, right? And we have state. In Persian, we have ostan, and we have a suffix of istan. Istan means the land. Okay, how many countries do you know that they have this suffix? You know the different countries with this suffix, the suffix of stan. Okay, for example, we say Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Istan at the end of all these countries. Even in Persian language, we do not say the word India, we say Hindustan. Even for Saudi Arabia, Persian people never say Saudi Arabia, they say Arabistan. It means the land of Arab people. Okay? Now, what does Rumi say? Rumi says Neyistan. Ney, as I told you before, is a reed, a translation of the reed in Persian, and Ney and nothing and nothingness, they are somehow the same. Ney, no, nothing, something like that. And the land that Ney belongs to that place, that is Neyistan. Neyistan, okay? It's very beautiful, isn't it? Neyistan. So when Rumi says Neyistan, it means that, okay, it is a place that belongs to the Neys or the reeds, instead of saying reed bed that we say in English. Well, I promised you at the end of the video, I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna surprise you with the sound of the reed or ney again, and then you can hear the word Neyistan. This is the exact verse which Rumi said 800 years ago. I told you the translation and I told you the interpretation, but right now you're going to hear the exact thing that Rumi said 800 years ago. Although his grave is inside Turkey in Konya, but Turkish people do not understand anything from reading Masnavi, okay, from reading Rumi, because Turkish language is not one of the languages in the big family of Indo-European languages. Like Arabic language, Arabic is also not in the family of Indo-European languages. Like Hebrew language, language of the Israeli people, they are not in this language. But Persian is one of the biggest branches of Indo-European languages, and that is why you can understand it, but maybe Turkish people cannot understand it. When I say what Neyistan is, you mean, okay, stan means the land, and Ney means reed. So Neyistan means the place of the reed, the place where all the reeds were living in that place, and now Rumi is separated from that reed bed or Neyistan. Pay attention to this song that I'm going to play for you. It is performed by the master Iranian singer who passed away a few years ago, Muhammad Reza Shajarian. And let's listen. Let's listen to the word. Just pay attention to the word Neyistan. When I raise my hand, you pay attention to the word Neyistan. It means the land of Ney or the land of reed, Neyistan. And then the rest of the things that you hear, it says, okay, since I was separated from Neyistan, men and women cried with my moan. Okay, this is a translation because I'm not going to be able to teach you Persian languages right here in one video. Just enjoy that word and also the music of the reed, because I mentioned in my previous video that music is an international language and everybody can understand its sadness or its excitement or its happiness, regardless of the language and the culture that you have. Okay, so listen. When I raise my hand, just pay attention to the word Neyistan, the land of the Ney, the land of the reed. Men and women cried with my moan. Okay. This is ney. Ney. One more time. This is ney or the reed. One more time. Neyestan. Since they separated me from Neyestan or the reed bed, now he says, from my moan, men and women cried. And this is the sound of ney or the reed. It is similar to flute, but it is not. It is not flute. It is a little bit more sad, I think. From my moan, men and women cried. Okay, now we have the sound of the reed or the sound of the ney. Listen. That's it. This one is this musical instrument behind me. It is tar. Okay, and also we have it when we say tar in Persian. Okay, we also have setar. It has three threads on it, and then we have sitar, which is an Indian instrument, and then we have guitar. Guitar is also the same, it's somehow the same. Okay, you may say, okay, the language is somehow the same. Yes, it is, because Persian language is one of the Indo-European languages. And for you that you are fluent in English and you understand English or other languages in this family of languages, which, for example, French language, I don't know, German language, Russian language, and whatever, Spanish, Italian, different languages, you can learn Persian very, very easily because we have lots of words in common, and also the structure is also I don't want to say the structure is exactly like the other languages, but we have a lot of similarities. For example, when we want to make a sentence negative, when we want to make a verb negative, we use the prefix of ne. Okay, like French, we say je sais, I know. When we want to make it negative, we say je ne sais pas, je ne sais pas, or je ne sais pas, je ne sais pas. We say I know, I do not know, I don't know, I do not know. In Persian, we say mi danam, ne mi danam. Okay, so we have lots of similarities in the structure and grammar as well. So this is the sound of the. Okay, you heard the sound of the reed or ney, and that is the sound of the tar, that musical instrument behind me. So let's just continue. Ney, that's it. Listen to the reed. Listen to the ney. He's actually singing the first verse again. How it how it tells a story. Behind that, you can hear the sound of the tar, and then it's complaining from the separations. It's the second part of the first verse. This is the sound of the reed. Okay, and this is traditional Persian music, and that is why it looks like chanting, and it is amazing. We do not have it in other countries and in other musical genre. It is specifically for Persian culture, and it is amazing. Okay, so listen to the rest of the music, which is the sound of the reed, and the second verse. Okay, in the second verse we have one word. Do you remember that? Neistan. Istan means the land, and Ney, you know about it. Reed, the land of the reed, or the reed bed. Okay, one more time. This is tar, like guitar. Neistan. Okay, if you like this video, you can subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so you can get the notification when I upload a new video. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you, and take good care. Peace.